What's up, guys? So we're on an adventure today. We're just at a gas station getting gas, and then we are finally, for the first time this summer, heading to Indian River to go tubing down the Sturgeon. Usually we would have been tubing like 3 or 4 times by now, and this is our first time going this summer. It's bad. So obviously had to stop off at Meyer because we need gas, we need beer, we need snacks, we need all the food. Snacks is most important. Okay, snacks secured. Is it bad that we spend twice as much on snacks and drinks and beer as we did on gas to get to Indian River? But anyways, so now we're done. Now we've got to drive about an hour to Indian River so we can go tubing. Well, guys, we arrived at Indian River. You see we got the van here. We're all just trying to figure out who's going with what and where so we can get on the river, but we just want to get on the river, so let's go. Okay, guys, so we arrived at Big Bear now. It was a little bit confusing because I had to drive with my brother to the drop-off point, drive his truck back, come back to the state park, get the van, and drive the rest of the people who are tubing to Big Bear. And Austin, Mia, and Pat still had to walk here because we didn't have enough room. But we're at Big Bear now. This is Big Bear Adventures. This is where we always go tubing from. You don't need to go through Big Bear to go tubing down the Sturgeon. You can go to the drop-off point with your own tubing equipment and go from there. That's what my sister-in-law and friend and their kids did. They're going to be waiting at the drop-off point for us. But if you don't want to bring your own gear and you want somebody to drive you to the drop-off point, definitely go through Big Bear. It's totally worth it going through them. They drive you to the drop-off point. So now we're just waiting for Pat, Austin, and Mia to get here. We have to go through, you have to sign all the paperwork for the liabilities, and then we can get on the water. No, first we'll actually get in the shuttle, then we'll get on the water. We might not be here for supper, because we might leave by then. We have to go get Georgie. Okay, guys, everybody's all checked in, so now we got our little blue slip for the 10 of us. So now we are just waiting for our ride to get here so we can hit the river. It's cloudy out, but it's really hot and humid, so I really want to get in the water. Okay, our shuttle bus has dropped us off. Everybody else is here waiting. So now we just have to organize the coolers, get the tubes in the water, and start tubing. Okay, so as you guys can see, we have our floating cooler going. We're using our HelloFresh styrofoam to keep things cool. So all of our drinks and fruit will go in there. We have baggies for phones. Everybody's getting their tubes. Battery pack so I can record and have music. Okay, guys, we are all in the tubes. I'm in the tubes. We're all hung up here. You can see we're all hanging on to the tree. We gotta wait for everybody else. If you can see there under the bridge, we need to wait for everybody else to get into the river. So we're all just kind of hanging around on this branch until everybody else gets on the water.
The tree's gonna come apart.
You see this poor tree. Corbin and Justin are keeping all of us from going down the river as we wait for everybody else to get in here. I don't know how much this poor tree can take. But at the beginning, we all try to stick together on the tubes, but it's not going to stay that way. We all know that. As soon as we start going down the river, everybody's going to be going at different paces. Sometimes we'll try to meet back up, especially when people need drinks from the coolers or snacks, but most of the time, everybody's going at their own pace. You can see there's people who are kayaking and canoeing on the river too. We don't really have any maneuverability in our tubes. We can't really steer, so unfortunately they need to try to steer around us when we're on the river because we have no control. Not yet!
Slide down. Hey, Reese, want to grab me a beer?
We're just waiting for one more tube. Oh, all right, we're moving.
Oh, you're gonna get that big.
There we go. I got Brad.
Okay, we're done.
Okay, where's my speaker?
Side you.
Oh. So at the beginning of this river, it's not so lazy. There's a lot of debris. There's not really any like rapids, but there is a lot of overhanging debris. So you really have to pay attention to where you're going so you don't get like impaled. So you see we've all already separated. Some of the groups over here, some of the groups over here. My father is always way at the back of the pack. You can see I'm just in a spin right now. The river is fast. The Sturgeon River is the fastest moving river in the Lower Peninsula. It's a quick river. Oh God, this is going to be a jam. This is going to be a jam up.
Crystal, you gotta swing all of us out.
Hold on.
People, you need to swing.
I'm doing it, okay? Pee-pee.
I can't help you.
Don't leave. There we go.
So we are all caught up in this log jam. So Crystal's got a hold of me. I'm trying to get my tube into the current to get us around this log jam.
Okay, how's Zach doing there? Hey, buddy.
We're doing it.
We're getting this all out.
Okay.
No, we don't have the mom and
Oh, we're bringing up
The mom and pat are left back. I think we're doing it. Okay, we're through. We made it through. I can see there's something behind me. Woo, woo. You really need to watch your bum because there is a lot of because there's a lot of sticks just sitting underneath the water that will kind of get you in the butt as you're going down the river. It's so much fun though. Almost everybody got free from that jam except for my mother and Pat. I think they're still stuck.
No, Dad's still
Oh, and my father's still stuck in there as well. The teenagers are gone. The teenagers are down there. They're obviously a lot more agile than us adults. They made it through there no problem. The funnest part of tubing is just having your snacks, having your drinks, playing some music, and just floating and, well, relaxing. You'll see how the second half of this river is actually very relaxing. There's no debris. It's pretty wide. There's no rapids. It's really relaxing in the second part. But the first part, it's adventure tubing.
Lower Peninsula, oh my God!
Oh God, there's a huge log jam in front of us that I have a feeling that I'm going to get stuck in. I'm going to try not to get stuck in it, to try to get to the right side of the jam. Oh, water, take me there. No, we're all going to hit. We're all going to hit. A little bit of bumper boats here. Woo! Okay, put you guys away to try to get you to the right side of the current. So fortunately for me, I got around the log jam. They didn't go to the right side of the log jam. They're still stuck on the other side. Of course, Austin and Mia got through fine. My mother and Pat got through fine. But that's going to be fun for all of them to try to figure out how to get through that log jam because there's just that little strip right there that you can go through. It is really hard to navigate the river when I hope this isn't making you dizzy, guys. It's really hard to navigate the river, unfortunately, when you are roped off to somebody. Big Bear actually does not recommend that you rope off to anybody, but we just always have because we've been tubing down the Sturgeon ever since my kids were young. And sorry, I'm stuck in some trees here. Anyways, I'll use this opportunity. So we've been tubing this river ever since Corbin and Austin and Mia and Justin were young. So we always had the kids roped off to us because they were younger. And now this is the very first time that Zach and Alex, my nephews, have gotten to go tubing. So they're actually in the double tubes with their parents, so it's a lot easier to keep them safe. But we all just got accustomed to roping off with at least one other partner. You'll see most of us in pairs. It's too hard to rope off with 3 people, but we try to keep it in either pairs or singles. That's it. Okay, guys, as you can see, we are on a beach whenever we're tubing. So when you go with Big Bear, there's 2 options for what you can do. You can do a 2.5-hour float, or you can do a 1.5-hour float. We always do the 2.5-hour floats, and if you can see right here, right there by that green building, that is the drop off for the 1.5-hour float. So we know when we get to this, around the corner, there's always this big beach that we stop at. We have some snacks, we have some drinks. If it's really hot out, the kids go swimming. We put air into any tubes that need air, and it's just a nice little stop off point along the river.
What about the Hawaiians out there?
Yeah, don't let them go in there.
I know. We've been telling them.
Okay, so we all just had a nice quick break. Time to get back in the tubes. Not while we're here, no. Zach and Alex and Reese and Asher, they're just loving this tubing. They've never been tubing before, and they love it. Okay, everybody's back in the water. Oh, we're back floating. I'm back spinning. I feel like all I've been doing today is spinning. It is raining on us, but because we're in the water, we don't really feel it. It's still warm out. It's still a nice float.
It's all I
See quite a bit of wildlife when you're on the river. Like, we've seen weasels, turtles, snakes, lots of spiders, vultures, hawks, eagles, and as you guys just saw, deer. Lots of wildlife when you're floating on this river. Guys, you can tell the ducks are used to people feeding them on the river or dropping food, because look, I'm stuck in like this little log thing, and I just got a whole bunch of little friends. Look it! They're waiting for some snacks. I swear, these girl ducks look like they're going to come right up on the tube looking for food. You always know when you're getting towards the end of the float, when you can start hearing the road, and you float right behind the McDonald's in Indian River. I don't know if you could see it through, I don't know if you can see the sign for it in the trees. You can almost get out of your tube, go order yourself a Big Mac meal, and then come right back on the river.
She's got her backpack.
Dora, Dora, Dora the Explorer.
He's trying to say 12. It's 12 pavés, por favor. Learn that Cuba very.
Okay, guys. So you see we got out here at the stairs. Up here at the top of the stairs are some garbage cans to get rid of your garbage. So now, technically, you're supposed to walk your tubes back to the Big Bear building. Or you can be like us, since we're camping in the state park. My sister-in-law went to go get her truck, and she's going to come back. We're going to throw the tubes in the truck, my brother's truck, and then they're going to drive the tubes back across the street. What?
Your niece wants to be in the vlog, you know.
Oh my god.
I need to, but now let us know. Whenever you grab.
You really gonna stop and record? I'm very bold.
Carrying our tubes back. Okay, so I picked up my keys, the tubes are back. This place is cool. It's got a subway inside, it's got a store full of stuff, ropes course, bumper boats, mini golf. It's a cool little place. Well guys, we're back at the campsite now, reunited with Charles. Charles chilled in the trailer while with Molly and Winter. Georgie is at Nanny's house. He's spending a little bit of time with his grandmother today, and Charles got to go on the little road trip with us. So now we're just waiting for the rest of the crew to get back. This is the campsite we would have had if we were staying the night. I did book this campsite for the night. You can see it's right on the water. That there is Burt Lake. Burt Lake, it's a beautiful beach, beautiful sandy beach. It is so warm. It's barely even refreshing to get in the water. And it's a huge sandbar. You have to walk out very, very, very far just to even get like waist deep. But for young kids and for boating, Burt Lake and Muller Lake, awesome. So now, waiting for everybody to get back. Then me, Pat, the boys, Justin and Mia are going to head back home to the Sioux. So I'm going to close this vlog here. I hope you guys liked coming along with us while we tubed down the Sturgeon River here in Indian River, Michigan. It's one of our favorite things to do, and we don't get to do it enough in the summer. But next time we come, I'll for sure bring you guys again. In the meantime, make sure you like, make sure you leave some comments, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.